So you're thinking about moving to Waukee, Iowa. So Waukee is one of the fastest growing areas in the Des Moines area, and people are moving there fast. And because it's new, it's clean, nice new construction. But there are a few things you need to know before you take that leap. So today I'm going to share 5 reasons why you might regret moving to Waukee. So let's get into that right now. So if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in the Des Moines area, then you're going to want to tap subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market conditions in the Des Moines area. My name is Andre. I'm with the Des Moines Iowa real estate team, and we get calls from people like you all the time. So whether you move in soon, like in 9 days, 10 days, or you move in 9 months, like a little while from now, just let me know, and I'll be happy to help you make a smooth move to the Des Moines area. Waukee might not be as affordable as you think. Waukee is, like I said, one of the fastest growing areas, and it used to be known as a nice, affordable alternative to West Des Moines. Well, in recent years, the prices have gone up quite a bit, and now it's really hard to find a house, a nice little 3-bedroom, 2-bath, starter home, individual home with no shared walls for less than like $350,000. I just did a quick search on the MLS, and right at that price, you're looking at new construction. You're looking at 350 to 360, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square feet. And anyway, it's just hard to find something in that price range. So on top of that, the property taxes are high, and you're also looking at HOA fees. You're not going to find a new construction home in this area with no HOA fees. The property taxes are high. So no matter where you're looking in this area, whether you're looking in all the suburbs of the Des Moines area, the property taxes are high. It's not like this is strange. But for a $350,000 house in this area, you're going to pay somewhere in Waukee, you're going to pay $6,200 to $6,500 a year. Now, that doesn't sound like much per year, but broken down into 12 months, that's a little over $500 per month that you're going to add to the cost of living in Waukee. Now look, those taxes are going to some great things. A large percentage, like 48% of it, is going to the schools and government, parks and recreation and governmental programs that you're going to need and want. It is a great area, and they use the tax dollars wisely, but it's a nice little chunk, and they can definitely cause some stress. HOA fees, look, they're there, and HOA fees anywhere from, I was just looking, anywhere from like $150 to like $300 at the highest. Average right around $200 to $225 per year. So it's not a real big chunk, but if your budget is tight, you definitely want to look at that. And a lot of people don't like HOAs, and I understand. Sometimes they restrict you from doing things that you want to do, but they also protect you. If you possibly like I don't think I would like having a new house and somebody parking their RV right there on the driveway right next to my house. And HOAs are going to stop that kind of thing, and most of them, long grass, that's probably a city ordinance. But some of these things, like painting your house like purple because the paint was on sale. I know that's an exaggeration. I don't think very many people would do that sort of thing. But you don't want to leave that to chance, and HOAs can be a positive. But look, this is a video about negatives, and HOAs can be a negative, and definitely high property taxes in this area, and the cost of getting into houses right here in Waukee is high. So definitely a negative. Another thing you're going to find in Waukee is that there's construction everywhere. Most of these neighborhoods, you're going to buy a new construction home in one of these neighborhoods, and your neighbors are 2 houses down, or the next 5 houses are all going to be under construction. So don't be surprised if you hear hammers and nail guns going off. Most of the time it's going to be during the day when you're at work, but every once in a while they're working late and trying to get something done. And in addition to that, portalettes everywhere, dumpsters, dump trucks, construction trucks. They're putting in new sod, so sod, even sometimes I've seen them on the street. That kind of thing. You're going to have to put up with that, and just the unsightly, neighbors who have a house that is being built and they're just, digging the foundation, big pile of dirt, that kind of thing. So you're definitely going to see that construction. Uh, there are plenty of schools. They're already built. They've built a lot of new schools, so you're not going to see a whole lot of new construction on the schools. And the roads, I think, are pretty good. You will see some new roads, especially in the new developments. So anyway, if you're moving to this area, you're going to end up having to put up with new construction. So, if that's an issue for you, Waukee might not be the place for you. Another thing you definitely going to want to take into consideration, I'm sure you already have, is the commute. The average commute in the Des Moines area is 20 minutes. And, I would say like Johnston, Ankeny, and maybe even West Des Moines is probably quite a bit shorter than that. It depends on where you're working. If you're working downtown, it's 25 to 30 minutes in the Waukee area. 30 minutes if you're way over here on the west. So, Waukee is the westernmost suburb in the Des Moines area. You could go a little further out there, and it's kind of a suburb, but Adel is quite a bit further. 40 minutes out there, maybe 30 or 40 minutes out there. But anyway, Waukee, your commute is going to be longer depending on where you're going to go. But if you're going to end up going to the Ankeny area, it's 25, 30 minutes. And you're going to end up going to downtown, that's, same thing, 20, 25, 30 minutes. And, traffic backs up on Alice's Road and Hickman, that backs up pretty fast. So, and also access to the highways is not as good in some of the areas, not like the access you would have like in Urbandale or Johnston or even Ankeny to the highway. So if you should consider your commute, and you should also consider that, you may end up wanting to go to, the big box stores that all are in either, like downtown or, Ankeny, and maybe even the Jordan Creek Mall. Those are all kind of a long shot. Jordan Creek Mall is not that far, maybe 15 minutes, but Ankeny is definitely far, and downtown Des Moines is probably 25 or 30 minutes. And look, during rush hour, you're gonna end up slowing down, especially on some of those busier roads, like I mentioned. So anyway, consider your commute. It's definitely something you need to take a look at and see if it's going to fit for you and where you're commuting to. If you're thinking about moving to this area, we will find something for you that fits exactly what you need. If you are looking, just give me a call. You can call or text or email. I'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to the Des Moines area. So a lot of the Waukee area is going to feel a little bit of like a cookie cutter type area. A lot of it is new construction. They're modern, but they're similar styles, and they're small yards and younger landscaping and just new neighborhoods. That's what you're going to get when you get new construction. Now look, there's some positives about new construction. There's plenty of positives, and there's plenty of positives about Waukee, and I talk about it all the time. Check out my other videos. But if that's not your thing, I got a client right now who doesn't want to be anywhere near their neighbors, but they want to be in the Des Moines area. I mean, that's really hard to find. But if you want a little bit bigger yards, and some larger trees and established neighborhoods, you can find that kind of thing like in Urbandale and Johnston and even parts of Ankeny and Polk City. But you're not going to find a whole lot of it right here in Waukee. This area is full of new construction, and cookie cutter type houses. Cookie cutter sounds really bad. It's not really that bad, but they all look very similar. You're going to have a hard time finding a really different looking design. So anyway, if that's a negative, we'll definitely want to start looking somewhere else. You'll see when you go look at a couple of houses, and you can actually see online and look at some of those before you go out there, and we'll find something. So, Waukee is still catching up to its growth. Waukee is growing so fast, and one of the things is like urban sprawl. they're building it so fast out there that the restaurants and amenities and what you might want are not really caught up just yet. There's strip malls, and there's an area right in there where there's lots of fast food choices and wasabi and Barntown and Blue Agave and those type restaurants, but it's not totally caught up with what you might expect. So you're going to end up going to the Jordan Creek Mall, like I said, and you're going to end up going to downtown and maybe even Ankeny for some of those big box stores. And look, it's not, these areas are not very walkable. You definitely are not going to be, walking a mile to a restaurant. You're going to jump in your car, whether it's going to be a Target run or a run to the mall or a run to downtown or dinner out. You're going to end up driving a ways. Not a huge deal, but if you're looking for something walkable where you can just take a stroll, put your kids in a stroller or a wagon and go to a town center, Waukee is not going to be that place for you. It's not walkable yet. That it has not caught up to its growth yet. So there's going to be some more construction, and that can be a struggle. I think that's a good potential for investment purposes. You buy a house now for whatever, $350, and 5 years down the road you could sell it for $370 or $400 if you end up moving, or if you stay here for 10 years and then sell it, you'll have possible good potential. But anyway, urban sprawl, and it's not really caught up just yet to the growth that it's experiencing. So that could be a thing. Now look, don't get me wrong, Waukee has got some great advantages. They've got great schools, safe neighborhoods, great investment potential, but look, it's not for everybody. It's a great city, I think. It's one of my favorite, but like I said, it's not for everybody. But if you're thinking about moving to this area and relocating to the Des Moines area, I'd be happy to help you. Let me know in the comments, what's your take on Waukee? If you live here, let me know what some of the negatives that you think there are that maybe I didn't mention. Or what are some of the great things? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. And look, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, and like this if you want more honest local real estate videos like this. Hit subscribe and like, and I'll keep producing.